Alright, what's up guys? If it looks like I have raccoon eyes, it's actually because I have raccoon eyes. Never weld without a full face shield. I made a mistake. Over the past couple days I had to weld my mower and I did not wear a full face shield. My lips blistered up, I have raccoon eyes, and my entire face is burnt to a crisp. It's hurting right now. So I had to put a bunch of aloe vera on it and a bunch of stuff. So weld with a full face shield. I'm not a welder, but I've done it in the past, never had this issue. So learn from my mistake, put a full face shield on. But I want to make this video, hopefully it's not too long, but I want to, it's varies over property to property depending on the state, pressure within the area, but it's poor results when it comes to habitat management practices. And I really want to lay out what I've seen over this past year with clients going to their properties, because I went to more properties this year than I ever have in the past. And it's a pretty common theme that you see on properties with clients, because the common denominator is always the same. They have nighttime activity on their property and they have poor results. They don't have daylight activity on their properties. And I believe this happens because of social media and TV shows. When you stop watching TV shows and look at the marketing that the shows put on you, you have better results. And what I mean by that is, on TV you can never believe anything that you see on hunting shows because it's for TV, right? They have to provide a certain amount of video and a certain amount of kills or whatever it is for sponsors, so the sponsors can pay for their TV shows. So when you see somebody on TV that goes to a property and they go up in a tree stand and they hunt one time and they kill this monster buck over a bait pile, that gives people hope that, hey, I can put out this bait pile and I can kill a monster buck. Well, what that viewer doesn't understand is that that was 100% unpressured property. Okay, there's nobody been hunting on that spot, and that person did not hunt that stand one time, right? He's probably hunted throughout that property several times in order to kill that buck, but they don't tell you that on TV. They just say, oh, we hunted a stand and we killed this monster buck. The reality is, majority, 90% of hunters don't have that luxury of hunting a piece of property that's unpressured. You're hunting properties where your neighbors are riding four-wheelers and you know it's just super pressured. So in order to have success, you have to do something different than your neighbors. You have to do something different than everybody else. And the common theme of this is somebody goes out, puts an electronic feeder, fills it with corn in front of their stand, and they put these mineral blocks out and all these different types of scents and gels and blocks and stuff that they rake into the dirt and all this stuff. They put a trail camera right over the bait pile, within 5 feet of the bait pile, and all they have is nighttime pictures. They have no daylight bucks. They have bucks hitting at nighttime, if at all, and they have a few does hitting it during the daylight hours. This is no good, right? Because you want to kill a mature buck or a decent buck, within the area, but you're not having the success with it. It's because you're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing in the neighborhood, within the county, the state, because you see it on TV. Electronic feeders or mechanical or gravity fed feeders, and they kill big bucks. You have to do something different. In order to take advantage of the situation, you have to do something different. What can you do different? Well, for one, get rid of the electronic feeders, because what happens is you, your neighbors, everybody within that area, that deer is known to that. They walk through different properties and they go up to a feeder, right? Maybe it may start out at daytime activity. They go up to that feeder and it's like, oh wow, here's some corn, it tastes pretty good, and all of a sudden, boom, they get arrows slung at them, right? All of a sudden they hear a noise up in a tree, and that buck looks up at the hunter at full draw, and they get an arrow slung at them, and there's other deer around. They become accustomed to that, right? So all of a sudden it pushes them to nighttime activity, or they avoid that feeder altogether. They recognize these things as pressure, as human pressure, right? We put this human pressure on the animals and it forces them to be nocturnal. Happens all the time, happens on every property throughout the states. And it's because of what we do. We try to improve the area, we put these feeders out thinking it's going to make it better, and a lot of times it makes it worse. So majority of cases, if I go to a client's property, depending on the state and the area, what's around them, the electronic feeders, gone, get rid of them. If you're going to bait, it's best to just sling corn out, get rid of the feeders. It's an eyesore, it's a red flag to the deer. Just take, you can take a lot of times in like ATV spreaders and such, fill that up with corn and just drive through the area and just, you know, let the spreader spread it, because it's more natural to the deer. It lasts longer too, because the deer actually have to root for it. So just like they're feeding on acorns and stuff. If you have a food plot, do not put your tower blind directly in the food plot. You have to get it off of that food plot. It has to be hidden so the deer can't see it, and you have to be able to access it without spooking the deer. A lot of times you can put it behind some cedars, some sort of conifer. You can plant some trees around it. You can screen it with Egyptian wheat, switchgrass, whatever it is, but you have to get that feeder off of that food plot. Some areas, some states, it may work, you know, where they're unpressured. You know, you may be able to put that blind out there and it could work. Majority, 90-95% of cases, if you have a tower stand in the center of your food plot, you will not get daylight bucks on that food plot. It's just not going to happen. Another common thing with this is access. If you're walking through the center of your property and putting bedding all over the place and food sources throughout the center, and you have to walk past them or around them or anywhere that a deer is going to bed, you have to be able to access around your property. If you can't do that, you will make your property worse. You'll make it nocturnal. You have to be able to access your property without spooking deer. The number one problem with making deer nocturnal is human pressure, human interference with nature. If a deer sees you, you're going to spook it. Little bucks, fawns, does, whatever, might be able to tolerate that pressure. But when it comes to the bigger bucks, they cannot deal with it. You know, our property, Jeff's property in Kentucky, we don't hunt the woods. We only hunt afternoons. Why? Because it's too much. It's problematic if we have to go through the area, go back into the timber, try to hunt the mornings, try to hunt that. No, we let the deer, we give the woods to the deer, we draw them out for evening hunts to the fields. We have very good success with it. And a lot of times that's sometimes what it takes. You think more stands is better, more hunting is better, but it's really not. You think gravity fed feeders are better, you know, mineral blocks and all these types of things, and electronic feeders. Oh, I'm feeding the deer. Well, yeah, you're putting some corn out which has almost no nutrition to them, and you're just spooking the deer. You're making them nocturnal. If you want daylight activity, have unpressured food sources, get rid of the electronic feeders, and learn access. Learn how to access your stands without spooking deer. Do something different than everybody else in the area. Do something different than your neighbors. Do something different than your buddy, your whatever it is, your best friend. Do something different than them, and you will have better results. I promise you. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take long to fix the problem, and you'll see good results, guys. I promise you. Any questions? Post them down below. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you want more information on food plots, soil samples, and habitat management, click this video right here on the screen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you guys are new.